So a move happened yesterday in the NFL, Leroy, that the Dolphin fan definitely took notice of, as did one of their stars, Slim Reaper.
Oh yeah, he signed up. He got himself a
Devontae
bag.
Smith. He signed a 3-year, $75 million extension, $51 million guaranteed. Of course, college teammates with one Jaylen Waddle. So
Right.
I was happy for his guy on social media.
And
Waddle's fifth-year option deadline, I think, is a couple weeks away. Herald reports they're going to try and sign him to an extension. Waddle better, very close numbers, but better numbers than Devontae Smith. So this was very intriguing yesterday, Leroy. Do you think we've been very Tua tunnel visioned on extension talks this offseason? Do you think that Jaylen Waddle gets done? And if not, does he make a stink?
Here's what I would say. Here's what I feel is going to happen. They're going to pick up the option, do Tua's contract after June 1st, and then continue to negotiate with Waddle.
Right.
Or they can sign Waddle now, make some additional moves after June 1st, and then do Tua.
But you think ultimately they'll try and get the Waddle thing done before the season?
Absolutely, because here's the deal. Here's what you have to understand. Waddle's going to be here longer than Tyreek. Just because of sheer years.
I don't know how long. You don't really know how much longer Tyreek Hill is going to be.
Right. Here. And so from that standpoint, you have look, you cannot let Christian Wilkins, Jaylen Waddle, and Tua go. You made the mistake for whatever reason and let Christian Wilkins go.
Yes.
Right? For nothing. So I think that as a show of faith to the fan base and of the other members on that team, you have to do moves that sign the young players on the team. So that's Javon Holland, Tua, Jaylen Waddle, Phillips, right? That's your core 2-3 years down the line. Not all the other guys you signed to the big money.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your core guys. And you got to have a base.
Yeah, I would say
and I think so. They're gonna have to do something, but I think they're gonna have like what, $20+ million clear up after June 1st.
Yeah, they got the Xavier Howard money clear up.
And they've probably been making some moves to just get their money right. But you can, and see, the way it works is the money won't kick in until next year anyway.
Yeah, because it's an extension.
Right. And so you can sign all these guys and all your core guys and your young guys. You can sign them all and then deal with it next offseason, which is what you would do. You would sign everybody and worry about that when we worry about that bridge when we get to it.
I think Waddle is definitely I think Waddle's definitely the most interesting one because you already have an A1 number one receiver. We're seeing this now with the Bengals, right? Where they're going to have to sign Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is kind of stuck on his island. Tyler Boyd, they couldn't afford anymore, but he's, you knew there was going to be an odd man out.
Boyd is the odd man out.
Yeah, Boyd's the odd man out. He's
and
gone.
They franchise Higgins. And he's going to get what, 20+?
Yeah.
Right. And Jamar Chase, if the bar has been set at 25 a year, right? Holy smokes. With 51 guaranteed. And he's not even the main guy.
And the thing is, look, Waddle, those routes, crisp, But
Waddle's a better player than Devontae Smith.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, his numbers, he's got better numbers. And the only thing you could really knock on him is durability last year because he did miss 3 games.
I mean,
that's the only.
listen, that's
I'm
football.
quibbling. I'm just saying if you want to talk about
that's football. Nobody is gonna play 17 games every season or whatever. Like,
but even missing 3 games, he's got more receiving yards.
Right.
Waddle has more receiving yards, touchdowns. Slim Reaper has 1 more touchdown. Again with what is that? He has 2 more games in his career. Okay. So like we're not talking like crazy separation. Yards per reception, samesies. And he plays with AJ Brown. So Waddle's second year is, it kind of dwarfs anything that Devontae Smith has done. I do wonder, because it felt very much like, last year, remember we got mad at Pat McAfee because he called Waddle a number 2. Because after that second year, it felt like, no, they have a 1 and a 1 with Tyreek and Waddle. And then last year, it did feel very much like, no, this was Tyreek Hill's offense. Do you think they go to diversifying it a little bit more this year, or go to a succession plan where it is more Jaylen Waddle focused, or what do you imagine? Because if you are going to invest in him like that and treat him like a number 1, yeah, you're gonna hope that year 2 production is there, not necessarily last year's.
Here's what you need to understand: is Devontae Smith a number 1?
No,
he got 25, 51 guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether you think Jaylen Waddle is a number 1 or not, the bar has been set.
It's interesting too, because both of these guys are not necessarily the stars of their team, and neither of them are, how should I put this, really off the field or locker room headaches. There's a lot of AJ Brown being a pain in the ass that people put up with. There was a lot of reports and rumors out of Philly that him and the coach, not cool, didn't get along. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. But then of course we also have Tyreek Hill, who is amazing. Not a locker room problem, but seems to come with a lot of off-field baggage. And so when I bring that up, I say, I wonder,
you need to have
team, what's your contingency plan? What is the idea? How much longer is the Dolphins cheetah marriage? I don't know. I mean, look, he looks like the most unstoppable thing in the sport. I see no reason that's going to end at 30 or 31, but I'm not sure.
I look at it from the standpoint of, man, you signed these guys, you drafted these guys, you better start re-upping your guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, because can you even take credit for Christian Wilkins if he's not on the team anymore? You see what I'm saying? Because when this team gets good and you say you built it, right? Christian Wilkins, as important as he was on the defense, you didn't get anything for him, and he's not going to be here for any of the success you hope to have.
Yeah.
And as a GM, you take pride in the guys that you draft or you bring in, not the free agents.
Do you find it weird? I sent you this tweet this morning from Adam Schefter that this is going to be a record number of offensive players taken in this year's draft. And as much as, Mahomes is the best. I'm not saying he's not the best. He's the best. We have no debate here. But man, that team went last year as that defense went.
Correct. But
crazy.
That's and I've said this a number of times. Go look at the early Super Bowls Tom Brady won. Go look at Ben Roethlisberger's first championship. Go look at the last championship of Peyton Manning. Okay? Go look at the first championship that Baltimore won, where they went 5 weeks without scoring an offensive touchdown and won the Super Bowl that year. Okay? So while we put all this on the quarterback and the quarterback having to do certain things, right? The teams that win championships may have that quarterback, but in the end, they don't lean on him as much as you think, because that defense, when that offense was scoring 17 points a week, was carrying their ass. And we now think about, and I'm going to say this, and I want you to think about it. Who was more important to that championship last year? Chris Jones or Patrick Mahomes? You see what I'm saying? We want it to be the quarterback. We do. But if that defense don't perform, they're donezo. because they weren't scoring any points and the wide receivers were batting the ball all over the place.
And yet, if I had to give the Dolphin fan a choice, Marcos, I'm taking Tua out of this. All right, you in great. If you could only re-sign one this offseason, extend one this offseason, Holland, Waddle, or Phillips, you're going with offense. You're going with the wide receiver. I think.
Sure. Well, I would go, but for different reasons, right? Like, I think this team needs Jalen Phillips and Javon Holland more. Okay. But I think Jaylen Waddle has been more productive in his career than those guys have been. And so if I'm going to pay a guy, what can I depend on more? I can depend on Jaylen Waddle's production more than I can Jalen Phillips or Javon Holland. That's as of right now.
If I'm Jaylen Waddle, the first thing I do when I go to the negotiating table, I look Stephen Ross in the eye, say, you know you want to do this every Sunday, baby? You want to do the Waddle, baby? And then Stephen Ross is like, he's good. Give him what he wants. Give him what he wants.
Wait. You understand the owner's not in there, right?
He FaceTimes him.
No, he's not. Nowhere near negotiations.
It's like, hey, Steve. Oh, what's up, Jaylen? Hey, Chris Greer's being a cheapskate. He doesn't want me to do this every Sunday. Give him what he wants, Chris. I want a Waddle. You don't think that's how it goes?
Dude.
Can I hear the ringtone again?
It's not even a real ringtone.
I'm trying to do a FaceTime. It's a FaceTime.
Oh.
That's good. I want a Waddle.
Oh my God. No.
Give him what he wants. Give him what he wants.
And then, you know what Chris Greer's going to say? We only really waddled 6 times last year. So, So, like, that's how I look at it. Now, who's more important to the success of this team in the future? Phillips and Javon Holland. Because that's the side of the ball that's lost the most talent. But whose production can you depend on, either through injury or whatever? That would be Jaylen Waddle.
Plenty of comments flying in on the YouTube and Twitch chat. We'll get to some of you guys on the other side. Take a break. Hour Tua coming up next. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy.
Very aggressive rapper he was.
DMX?
Oh, yeah. Very aggressive. Did you? My favorite. Remember he did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
So good. Come on. We take you up until 2 here on the program. Miami Dolphins. Phase 1 has begun, Leroy. They're in the building. I don't know what they're doing in the building, but they're in the building.
Off-season workouts start probably the first week of April.
Taking a looky-loo around.
You get a month or so, and you have mini camp, and then you get another 4 to 6 weeks, and then you have off, and then camp.
Well, this is a segment of the show I like to call Leroy poops on a guy who clearly got swole, but he'll say is just wearing a tight shirt. The streets are saying, Leroy, Devon Achane looking mighty muscly, walking into the first day of off-season workouts.
Yes, this is his third year. Second year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time in his life he's probably committed this much time to working out. He needs to play a position that can take a beating. So, yeah. It's the natural evolution of an athlete. Why does everybody think that I'm not, like I'm going to shoo it or do something crazy?
Usually you do. Whenever I say I think somebody got swole, you're like, big deal.
No. I only say that when you go basketball players.
No.
Okay. When a 6'8" guy gains 12 pounds, that's nothing.
feel like you did this. You debunked me with Tua. You know, like you.
No. What I said with Tua was
not the slim year. I'm talking about the jacked years.
He wasn't jacked though.
His ass was jacked. Oh, he was jacked.
He just gained weight.
This is
to protect himself. Look, I get it, but here, my first couple of years in the league, I was lifting and running and stuff, but I was a little heavier.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say heavier. I just say I looked like I was huge. And then as my career went, I got more fit and it looked like I was slimmer, but I really wasn't. It was just like an evolution of my body. Like it happens. So no.
Here was
you get caught up in the nonsense. Like, yeah, man, these are young kids that they haven't fully developed their grown man bodies yet, and they're going through that process.
This was him walking in the building yesterday. As you can see,
that white shirt.
Whoa, barely
205.
I mean, he is a moose, dude. Look at that guy, Marcos.
Wait,
whoa,
hold on.
A moose.
Hold on. Marcos.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. All I'm saying is this.
This is gonna hurt.
When a guy normally gets swole, and he got the guns and all that, you could see veins and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he building up. He just like, yeah.
You're trying to find every way possible to say he's not swole.
But when I said there was veins on Tiger Woods, you said that he's just. No.
I don't know, dude. Here, look at this side by side, Leroy. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let me say
side by side. Look at him.
Oh, look at that.
He looks like a child.
He got some guns. He got some guns.
He got some guns. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But look, wait. But look,
Even
even his face is rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably put on a couple of pounds. But
well,
yeah,
please, baby.
I mean, but you probably think he should with the position he plays, right?
Yes, one would think, especially getting hurt last year.
All right.
Man, he was good last year. Oh,
He
every
was-
time he touched the football.
Yep. My nephew went to school with him, was in the room with him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How is your net? Is his health? Didn't he have an Achilles?
He tore his Achilles.
Oh.
And then they changed coaches. So he went to the transfer portal, and I said to him, "Hey man, you haven't played. Nobody going go where you can play. You can always go back. The way the transfer portal works is if you're gonna go down to the minor leagues, you can always get back. But you need to go somewhere where you can play football.
Yeah.
Stop playing this transfer portal game till you get somewhere you like. You might not like. Get on the football field somewhere and show them what you can do, and then you'll have more options." That's just my advice.
So, what do you think? Do you think he's going to listen to Uncle Leroy?
Yeah, I think to some extent, right?
Where is he now?
He's still at Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. Nice. We'll keep an eye on him.
Does he want to be a Wolverine?
No.
Legacy Wolverine?
No.
Leroy's like, hey, listen, don't go there. We're about to, about to go down.
Dude. Woo. Hey, I listen.
We're about to get Connor Stallion.
Y'all heard it here first. When you lose, here's the deal. And this is in all sports at any level. If you're an NFL team and you had 10 Pro Bowlers and you lose 7 of them, your team ain't going to be as good next year, right? They got 13 guys that's going to get drafted. 13. So what you think that team going to look like next year?
My co-host on Game Day Uncensored, Omar Kelly, saying Leroy 1,000% right about players getting grown man bodies.
Right. Like I'm telling, I was there, you idiot. Like, why do you not listen to me?
Every time I want to get excited. Oh, it's not a big deal.
It's not. It's the evolution of an athletic body, of athlete's body. It happens in every sport, but you guys see a muscle in a vein and you go, "Whoa!" That's because guess what?
Did that with Jaylen Waddle last year.
This is the first time in this guy's life that they had to worry about school. They had to worry about all the other stuff. It's just this is their job.
I definitely recall Marcos and I getting goo goo gaga over Jaylen Waddle jacked videos while running crisp routes and never less durable. Never less durable.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like,
true.
you just get.
I don't care. I
you
just
just
need
get,
football.
like, here's what happens.
Every year we talk about Tyler
you
Hero
know-
being
Yeah,
You
but
know how
Tyler
you know how you get that freshman 10,
Yeah.
right? Everybody talk about that, and then as those people go through college, then they kind of get their. It's the same way in NFL, NBA. Like, you go through like those first couple of years, and keep in mind, a lot of times they want you to, like, the priority is for a lot of these guys to put on a couple of pounds.
Great point by Dr. Toboggan. He's kind of in the realm of Leroy pads here if you look at him from last year. I mean, for 2023, those pads were pretty big.
No, that's not big pads, dude. No, that
I mean,
ain't.
for this day and age,
Leroy can't compare to Leroy.
nothing
First of all,
can
let me tell you.
nothing can
Wait,
compare to
wait.
Leroy's shoulder pads.
Let me tell you why.
Compare to
Yo,
Leroy.
just go back to the HM picture.
Yeah.
You want to know why they ain't even close?
Hmm?
Because when I wore my shoulder pads, it looked like I had no neck. Like, you can see way too much neck. Like, I was like a turtle. Like,
Your shoulder pads, they could have used that to protect you from the eclipse.
hey, dude, I had so many pads on. I remember one time Bill said, hey, because I went to look, the team wouldn't even provide them for me, but everybody would tackle me on my knees, my legs, and my shins. So after games, my shins were black and blue and bloody from getting hit so much. So I did what any other human would do. I went and got some soccer pads, right? The soccer shin guard.
Wait a minute.
And-
You were playing with the shin pads that like really?
And so I wore those. And one time Bill walked to me and said, hey, Horde, you got enough pads on? I'm like, I looked up at him and I said, there's more? Like, I was like, hey, it got to the point where, dude,
You
my hands
crossed over to other sports.
were so swollen and black and blue, and just the skin ripped off from people hitting me trying to hit the football, that I wore offensive line gloves with the pads on the outside. I'm telling you, I
Leroy-
went out there and I was ready for the battle.
Leroy would have been a great jouster.
Yes, I'm telling you. I said, one time I got poked in the eye shield.
Now upon his gorgeous steed, Sir Leroy Horde, House of Cleveland.
Dude, I got poked in the eye, just grazed one time. And I was like, I can't put a shield on it. I was like,
Put a pad.
like, I had a shield. Hey, one time I got hit, my neck, I wore a neck collar. Like I was like,
You went out there, you
You were
hurricane.
basically bubble wrap.
Yeah,
yes,
you went out there hurricane prepping your body.
yes. Hey, dude, it wasn't, every time I played on the turf after the game, my elbow was like this big, right?
God.
And so you best hit. One time I got hit at a halftime and my elbow swole up. And after the game, the trainer said, I put them in your locker. 2 brand new elbow pads.
Take a quick break. Appropriately, the damage is done, my friend, is next.